Deck the halls with Dallas Cowboys. Fa la 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 la. Lindsay,
everyone's favorite 15 minutes of life. Cover 4, cover 3, or maybe just cover 2 is here to save your day. We're about to get fun, festive, and full of David Hellman. He's going to start us off with kickoff today. We had a lot going on. Dave, take it away.
Thanks for that, Lindsay. Hey, check it out. It's Christmas week. We're all excited. We're all festive. I'm sure you've got plenty of your own wishes and wants under the Christmas tree for Santa Claus this year, but keep a place in your heart for a loss by the Atlanta Falcons and the Detroit Lions would go a long way toward getting the Cowboys into the playoffs. So that's what I want for Christmas.
Manny, we miss you today. He's out at the University of Texas covering National Signing Day. But on behalf of Lindsay, David, and myself, we have officially committed to Swag University. Can't wait to be there. The mascot is what, Dave? Is it just swagging?
It's ball so hard, I think.
Ball so hard.
We'll see you in the fall.
We'll see you in the fall.
Has
Sizzle.
been signed. All right, people, let's move to game changers of the weekend because, yes, the Seahawks are just as hungry as the Cowboys. We're all in the same boat here, looking to stay alive. Tay, who's your first one?
I got to go with Doug Baldwin. Guys, Russell Wilson, he's a great quarterback, and he's an even greater quarterback when he's passing to Doug Baldwin. Of course, you guys are seeing right here on the screen, his stats are bananas. Over 800 yards just in this season alone, 67 receptions. That's insane. He's really been a huge target for Russell Wilson.
And got such good chemistry with Russ, too.
Insane, insane. So I'm a little bit scared to see what he might do here at AT&T Stadium on Christmas Eve, but hopefully we'll get a present and he might be shut down by some of these rookie corners.
Depends a lot how Russell Wilson is doing for that day. Dave, who do you have?
You mentioned the quarterback of the offense. We'll get to him, but I'm looking at the quarterback of the defense, Earl Thomas. There's 2 Earls as far as I'm concerned, Sweatshirt and Thomas. I think when he's healthy, this is the best safety in the game. He's a little bit of everything. I know it says he's got 2 picks on the year. Don't buy the hype. This guy is a beast in coverage. You talk about a young quarterback like Dak Prescott. He's got 11 picks on the year, not as clean as we saw when he was a rookie. This is a guy who can take advantage of that. I'm watching him. I think you got to know where he is at all times. He's got the capacity to turn this game on its ear. I worry about him for sure for the Seattle defense.
I've got a duo and Frank Clark, Michael Bennett. What do you guys think of those names? Just the pass rush in general for Seattle. It's something that is very fierce. When you look back at the Cowboys competition this year, we've said, hey, poor La'el Collins, they got a big one this week. Tyron, look out. But this one is just as big as probably any of the season.
No doubt, Lindsay. You know, everyone's been talking about, oh, this Seahawks defense isn't the same. They're missing so many pieces. You're not missing these guys, and these guys are still being very productive. Right, Dave?
Not just that. Let's not ignore the elephant in the room. Tyron Smith might not play in this game.
Ooh, don't remind me.
I mean, we saw what happened when he didn't play.
Don't remind me.
I know. Hopefully, we're not looking at another Adrian Claiborne situation. I hope that's not the case. These guys are good even if your tackles are healthy, and the Cowboys' tackles are not healthy. So we're going to need a good game from this offensive line.
Final game changer, obviously, it's going to come back to the quarterback of the offense, Russell Wilson. He's had great season. Not, the wins aren't there, but his numbers are. He's leading when he needs to be.
His numbers are there, Lindsay, because he is going to the Pro Bowl. That should tell you everything you need to know. When his team is still down and out, he's still showing up. I mean, I've seen stats where everyone calls him the one-man band. That scares me.
Honestly, it's funny because he's had 2 bad games here going against the Jaguars and the Rams the last 2 weeks. But before that, I was on this show arguing that he should be the MVP. And I still honestly kind of think that. Yeah, the win-loss isn't great. They might not make the playoffs. He is everything to this team. You see the stat, 33 of 34 touchdowns. He's accounted for something like 90% of their yards. Like, they don't have a running game.
One-man band.
They've had a lot of injuries, too.
Absolutely. Like, it's staggering the things that he's able to do on his own. And for that, I mean, you got to have 11 hats on him because he will make something out of nothing. He does it time and time again.
Absolutely got to have our eyes on him, but everyone has their eyes on Ezekiel Elliott this week because he's back. Yes, he's in the locker room today, talking to everyone. So we just thought we'd refresh you a little bit on some of his top 5 moments, starting with number 5, his first game in the National Football League preseason game. Look who it was against, and look who he was not afraid to go right after.
If you were a Dallas Cowboys fan, and sometimes you're like, okay, preseason football, not very exciting. Lindsay, Dave, myself, we were all up there, and we were like, okay, we have not really seen this guy in training camp, hamstring injury, but then he shows us why he was drafted 4th overall, and I was stunned.
I just wish Bam Bam Cam was healthy and playing. He's on IR, unfortunately, but I just said Earl Thomas is one of the best safeties in the league. That might be the most physical safety in the NFL, and in his first NFL action, Zeke put it on him.
He was not afraid. That's not afraid. The tone had been set. Number 4, this is not one time, this is all the time. Ezekiel Elliott likes to get, you know, in on the action, whatever it takes.
Oh, I appreciate it 1,000% because you know what? He understands that people want to see him. They want to see his excitement. He's got the goofiness going. He always finds this angle that's not always flattering, but he doesn't care.
I wish some of these guys would pull the camera back. Yeah, now we got
this is my fave last year.
Oh, this was so much fun.
Remember when this team was 11-1? I do.
Dave
Good
was
times.
Yeah.
Dave was probably doing an interview with Kyle Wilbur, and
that happened at some point too. Yeah. Oh, those are good.
Number 3 on top 5 Zeke moments. Another one that isn't exactly one moment. It's just in general. It's a state of mind, if you will.
It is a state of mind, Lindsay, because someone should be hungry this Sunday. 6 weeks sitting. I want to see this time and time and time again. As our favorite Marshawn Lynch, he would say over and over and over, feed the man.
I hadn't really had time to think about it, but that's going to be a big moment. He hasn't done that in 6 weeks, and you know he's going to have a play where he has the opportunity. Yeah.
One little tear will drip from his eye.
Yours too, probably.
Probably.
Number 2 on our list, it was just a huge game for Ezekiel Elliott against the Steelers. You guys were on the road. I was here doing the shows, but you guys said it was just an insane atmosphere.
Insane. I mean, a walk-off touchdown, Dave, we haven't seen that since this game, right?
One of the most unbelievable games I've ever been at. And yeah, I mean, okay, the walk-off was great. The hole was huge. He gets to the end zone. That's the thing I remember right there is the screen pass that completely turned this game on.
Look at the refs.
109 yards.
I mean, they were in a bad way. They were down 2 possessions in that game, and he just turned it on its ear with an 89-yard pass. It was phenomenal.
I love that you brought that up, Lindsay, 209 yards, because he is sitting at 783. Even with missing 6 games, he's only 217 yards away from 1,000. If he got this, he could easily do it.
That's not normal.
That's not normal.
I feel like he's going to hit it. I mean, obviously not on Sunday if I had to guess, but before the season's over.
For sure.
Feed the man.
All right, here we go, people. Number 1, obviously, one of our favorite memories. We're all in the festive spirit, so why not relive the kettle jump?
It's classy. You had to.
It's the holidays.
Yeah, and now, you know, oh man, I know we've missed Zeke for 6 weeks, and I mean, even before when he was playing those 8 games, you didn't really see too much, but imagine if Zeke and Dak and all of them were having the season they were last year, and the celebration rule didn't exist.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. The fun we'd have. Because at this point, everyone was like, oh, he's going to get fined. Instead, he turned it into a beautiful moment for the Salvation Army.
Yeah, he did.
Raising money and raising spirits.
All right, folks, we're going to take our first break from Cover 4, but when we come back, we got to talk Pro Bowlers because the Cowboys are sending some people that way. Congrats, Tank. We're going to talk about you next.
I'm Taylor Stern. Welcome into the AT&T Media Center. Last night's Stars game saw Anthony Brown and Jason Spezza having a jersey swap. Usually you see that after an NFL game, but they thought they'd switch it up and have it at an NHL game. So very neat to see that and very neat to see the DFW support. Stay tuned to everything inside the AT&T Media Center.
I mean, it's very exciting. I know my kids probably more excited than me, being able to go down to Orlando, be able to have a fun-filled weekend, you know, at Disney World and Universal Studios. But, you know, on my part, it's very, you know, exciting, you know, to be recognized by the league and, you know, fans. Thank you to the fans, you know, and coaches also, you know, trying my hardest to give thanks and stuff, but I'm very blessed, and again, got to give all praise to God.
Congrats to you, D-Law and Zach. Travis and Tyron are going as well. Orlando, nice little trip for them.
Not a bad little collection of talent right there.
Not at all. I mean, 5th selection. Look, Tyron, like, he probably just plans for the Pro Bowl at this point. Like, he's like, everyone's like, oh, what are we going to do in January, Super Bowl? He's like, oh, I'll probably be in Orlando again. So get used to it. Like,
unless they make the Super Bowl.
Yeah, unless.
Totally, there's a chance, Dave. I know you're saying that. So
Maybe.
let's explain to you guys how there is a chance with our look around the league playoff implications for you. The NFC playoff picture is getting a little more clear as time goes on.
Thankfully, it has cleared up for the Cowboys.
Yes.
And that's what I was mentioning at the top of the show. You're basically looking at one division and one team. Detroit Lions in front of the Cowboys right now. They got to lose one of their last two. And then, this sounds ridiculous, you need somebody from the NFC South to lose to. That could be the Falcons, it could be the Panthers, it could be the Saints. But somebody needs to go 0-2.
The games for this weekend, Falcons at Saints. What are you guys thinking?
This is a big one.
Yeah, I think the Saints are a little angry of how the last game went. Of course, it ended with that Sean Payton call. He was upset. Now they're coming to their home, and they're like, guys, we just got they have the most Pro Bowlers in the NFC, and we have 2 running backs going. Let's run it all day on the Falcons defense. I don't think they'll be able to handle that.
This is, I mean, it's in the Superdome where it's tough to play the Saints. This is a game that I expect them to find a way to win.
Yes.
All right, Dave, you mentioned the Lions. Lions at Bengals this weekend, who are in disarray.
This is tough right here because you need the Lions to lose.
Yep.
The Bengals, for all intents and purposes, look like a team that's ready to be done playing football. I'm not saying anything's possible. It sounds like their coach Marvin Lewis is going to leave at the end of the year. Maybe they play an inspired effort for him. But, I mean, you got to like the Lions' odds to get the job done here. Obviously, you hope they don't. You hope the Bengals find a way.
Bucks at Panthers. Cam Newton was on one this past weekend.
Yeah, if this wasn't at the Panthers, I would say, hey, the Bucks might have a chance here. They're just so beat up right now that I feel like the Panthers will probably just have an easy day, which is unfortunate. Granted, the Panthers are just rolling.
I thought that about the Falcons and the Bucks on Monday night, too, though, so anything's possible. The big thing here is, hey, the Falcons play the Saints, and the Panthers play the Bucks, and then the Panthers play the Falcons in Week 17. So what would be great, you want one of those 2 teams to lose this week so you have a good shot to get that second loss next weekend.
All right, what are you guys hearing? Are you guys hearing this from our producer that the Pro Bowl came up and Manny called us from Austin?
We got to talk to Manny.
Manny.
Talk to Manny.
I don't want
Manny
to.
Minute from Austin, Texas.
My Manny Minute for y'all. The Pro Bowl votings came out yesterday. Everybody knows who's on that all-star roster. Cowboys, got to give a shout-out to their players. Travis Frederick, Zach Martin, Tyron Smith, DeMarcus Lawrence. He was a no-brainer. I get that. Congrats to y'all. But how about the guys that were snubbed? Chris Jones, the punter, 56 punts on a year. Only 14 have been returned for 55 yards. That's good for 3.9 yards a return. Where was his name? They left it off the ballot. But some of the more high-profile positions. Alex Smith, 25 touchdowns, only 5 picks on the year. Left my man off. Matthew Stafford, Dallas native. He has the 3rd most passing yards in the league behind Tom Brady and Ben Roethlisberger. He has more passing yards than Carson Wentz, Drew Brees, and Russell Wilson. Left him off the list. Again, all these players, congrats to y'all. All the Pro Bowlers, congrats to y'all. But how about the guys that were snubbed?
Let me tell you guys why I miss Manny, and here's why. I got to give him a tip to the cap. He's hustling down in Austin and still misses us so much he had to get on the show today.
Good points there by Manny.
He needs a sound guy. A lot of echo on that video, Manny.
We hear you up here in Dallas, Manny, and we will see you tomorrow. But for now, guys, let's get to sound off. When we're at the end of the season, Cowboys have 2 games to play. They're relying on other teams to really make things happen for them. Which loss do you want back the most?
I want that Falcons loss back, and I say that because now I got Ezekiel Elliott back on my roster. He was not there for this week, and I think that would have been a huge difference. Poor Dak was just left out to dry for Adrian Claiborne to just beat up on all day, and that was a game that they were in on the first half and then just let it go the second half. A lot of people might say the Rams game, but I got to go with Falcons.
I'm a lot of people. Is anybody with me? The Rams game? I think just because my heart was so set that it was the guaranteed win, and now, have you seen the Rams this season? They're just killing it.
I hear y'all, and Tay makes a great point, but how about the one they just showed? And against the best player, too. As far as I'm concerned, Aaron Rodgers is the best player in the league. He was still healthy, and you had him on the ropes. You had the lead with a minute to play. You probably scored too soon, as I've said more times than I want to count. And it just hurts that they couldn't. You know, Rodgers has hurt them so many times over the last 5 years, and they had him and they couldn't get it.
We all have our own versions of these nightmares. We're out of time. Tay, let's go to OT.
Yeah, I gotta say, guys, I just found out that the Milwaukee Bucks have a dance group that is strictly for people over the age of 55. All I want for Christmas is the Dallas Cowboys to highly consider this idea. I think that we'd have great dancers in the DFW area that would really show out that age does not matter. You can always have the moves.
I agree with what you just said.
Thank you.
That's fantastic. Look, I was in a great festive mood when I put on my Roots Christmas sweater this morning for this show, and it's been ruined walking around this office today having people say, "Who are the Roots?" or "Isn't that Jimmy Fallon's band?" Like, do some research, people. Come on. It's one of the greatest hip-hop bands of all time, Lindsay.
Anyways.
Lord.
All right, Scrooge,
legends.
We're going to take a quick break and be back with you guys this weekend for more prep for Cowboys, Seahawks. Manny will join us again, and we will see you all then. Scrooge. I don't know the